ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We have been seeing some of these verses in the text called Aparokshabubhuti that talk about the Atma in a very interesting and unique way. The refrain is the same, like Atma iti uchyate budhaihi. That is the refrain from the in the verses that we are about to enter, from verse number 24 onwards. And before that, we had a different refrain. What was that? That Kim ajnanam ataf param. Is there a greater ajnanam than this? So with these kinds of stanzas, it makes it very easy to break up the text according to the topics. So now, in that spirit, we saw verse number 23, which is Dehaha ayam iti mudhaha matva tishtati aho janaha mama ayam iti api jnatva ghatadrashta eva sarvada. We saw that, and just to brush up on what we saw, the person here is deluded because thinks of himself or herself as good as the body. And that is what we are entering into the next section, where the person thinks oneself to be as good as the body. And that is basically what is being negated here. We are starting a new section. So, dehaha aham. This is the pervasive delusion. I am the body. This is something which doesn't go very easily, and that's why the author is going to talk about this a lot more. So dehaha I am, not I am, then that at least would be better. Dehaha aham. I am the body. What I see is myself alone. We don't make that mistake. I don't say I am the house. I don't say I am the clothes I'm wearing. I also don't say I am the spouse. Nobody says that. I am the child. Nobody says that. And so I don't identify with the things surrounding me that I can objectify. Why? Because there is a mama relationship, a mama sambandha, meaning they belong to me. These are the things that belong to me. That is the sambandha, that is the connection, that is the relationship. Not saying I am as good as all of them. But with the body, something funny happens. Not just my body, but me body. Me body. Not just my body. Me body. And this is what is pointed out, and how this happens nobody knows. It starts off at birth because there is a sahaja tadatmya. There is an identification that is natural, because if I am pinched, the person sitting next to me will not say ow. I will say ow, I am being pinched, because the sensations are given to me, because Bhagavan has set it up so that the person living in the body, the indweller, is also the managing trustee of the body. So as the managing trustee, I am the one who senses pain, who senses pleasure, who senses discomfort or a sense of comfort associated with this body. And why is this important? So that I can protect this body. That's why it is important. Imagine if we never had any pain sensations, then we would be injuring ourselves left, right, and center, because we wouldn't even know we have cut ourselves. We wouldn't even know we have burned our hammer, burned the body, burned the hand, burned the leg, nothing. And so, therefore, these sensors are given. The skin itself becomes the largest organ, sense organ, and these senses are given. And why are they given? They are given so that I can manage this body very well. I am the managing trustee. But then there is also another kind of identification, a karmic identification. Why this body? Why a male body? Or why a female body? All these things. So there is a karmic, little bit of a karmic identification also. My karma, that, this is the feeling that this set of karmas that brought this body into being are my karmas. And so there is a karmic relationship. So certain proclivity to certain diseases and certain difficulties, all this has to do with the karmic identification. Then finally, these two identifications we say are Ishvara Srishti. There is nothing I can do about them. I can't petition to Ishvara now. I want a different set of karmas. I want to be in a different body. And what will Ishvara say? There is gender reassignment surgery. You can consider that, but we are not going to put you in a different body. Why? Prak arabdham karma. There is already the karma has started. This is the body that you are meant to be in. And so this is what it's all about. And so this is Ishvara Srishti. And then the first kind of identification, I feel the sensations of comfort and discomfort, pleasure and pain, heat and cold. I'm the one feeling the sensations. I did not make it like that. From birth it is like that. So that too is what? Ishvara Srishti. Then there is a final identification based on delusion. I am as good as this body, and that is called, what is that? Bhrantija, tadatmya, and identification, not sahaja, not naturally given, and not karmaja, not born of karma, but Bhrantija, that is what is indicated by this word moodhaha. The delusion, it's a delusion based identification. And this is exactly how it reads. Dehaha aham iti ayam moodhaha matva dehaha aham iti matva tishtati aho Janaha, this person is sitting thinking that this body is me alone. Aho, alas. The person, the author laments. Whereas what should he or she be thinking? Mama ayam iti jnatva, even knowing it is mine alone, just like ghatat drashta. So the seer of the pot is not thinking I pot. They may think it is my pot, which is different than thinking it is me pot. And so therefore, this is somehow with the body, this third kind of identification comes in and is the cause of grief, anxiety, fear. Because when you say I am the body, then any minuscule or big changes which the body undergoes, you take it personally. So suppose somebody gets sick, then I am sick. And suppose the body gets sick, they say what? I am sick. And then if supposing somebody is an accident and unfortunately a leg has to be amputated, did not have enough blood supply and has to be amputated. I am legless, I am lame, I am blind, I am mute, I can't speak, and I am deaf. These are all identifications where the I goes and joins the missing limb. How can I be? We don't even think. How can I be a limb that is not even there? So, because when I say I am lame, I am identifying with something that is not even there. The missing limb becomes my identity, and at least Vidyamanam, at least the limb that is there. If I say I am the left hand, one can, even that's based on delusion, but at least the left hand is there to objectify. I am the missing leg is what I'm saying when I say I am lame. And when I say I am deaf, then I am the missing sense organ called ears. I am the missing sense organ called eyes. I am the missing sense organ called the faculty of speech. And so, if I define myself through the sense organs or through the organs of action, through what is not there, that is truly a delusion. Definitely it's a delusion. Same way, the person who says I am blonde. Blonde means what? I am a bunch of golden colored hair. That's what it is. And then what else? I am bald. That is still worse. I am a bunch of non-existent hair. So again, one is defining oneself according to the non-existent limb, the non-existent hair, the non-existent faculties. What kind of a ajnanam it is. So even though nothing can be done about the Ishvara Srishti, which makes one identify with a particular sthula and sukshma sharira, one can definitely do something about the maudhya. Mudhasya bhava is called maudhyam. So this one can definitely do something about this delusion, which is jiva srishti. This is what the 23rd verse says. And then based on that, so verses number 24 to 28 talk about the body identification. In fact, they don't talk about body identification as much as they try to remove the vestiges of body identification by negating what the body is, and by talking about how the body is nothing but Brahman. So the description of Brahman here is there contrasted with the body, and how we are supposed to look at the body as Brahman alone. ब्रह्मैवाहं समशान्तः सच्चिदानन्दलक्षणः नाहं देहो ह्यसद्रूपः ज्ञानं मित्युच्यते बुधैः. This is going to be repeated. Okay, this is what I said earlier. This is the refrain that is going to come in the next 3-4 verses. So let us look at that closely first. Aham na dehaha, na aham dehaha. I am not the body. Why am I not the body? I am not the body because it is asadrupaha. I am not the body. Why? It is asadrupaha. Asadrupaha means what? It is not sat. Brahman is Sat. Here, that Sat is hidden with Chit, so you don't see it clearly, but it is Sat Chit. So Brahman is Sat plus Chit plus Ananda. And what is this body? Not Sat, not Chit. What is it? Asat. Asat doesn't mean non-existent. Asat means mithya. Mithya it is. It's not non-existent. So, na aham dehaha asadrupaha. It is mithya. What is mithya? It is dependent on Sat. Like even pot does not have a being of its own separate from clay. We cannot say the pot exists in clay. We cannot say pot exists, the clay exists on top of the pot. In fact, the whole entire pot is nothing but clay. Absolutely nothing but clay. Whole pot is clay, nothing but clay. So similarly, this Deha is nothing but Satchidananda. We'll see that in the first line. So, but it is not, if we take the Deha to be literally me alone, then it does not work. Why? It is Mithya. And we know that Mithya has two features. One is Adhishthana Ananyat. It is non-separate from the Adhishthana. Then why are you calling it Asat? If you're saying it is the Adhishthana, it is Sat. Yes, it is Sat. Then why are you calling it Asat? We are calling it Asat because we are calling it Mithya because it is dependent upon Sat. So it borrows all the Lakshana from Sat. That Lakshana does not belong to the body. It is a borrowed Lakshana from Sat. Like even the crow wanting to attend the peacock dance borrowed, quote unquote, the feathers. 3 peacock feathers it borrowed and put on its own pucham, put on its own tail feathers, and then sneaked into the peacock convention. And then it was found out and kicked out. So this is what it is. Asadrupaha means the Sat is through this borrowing. The body shines in the light of Satchidananda indirectly, not directly. Directly only Brahman shines as Satchidananda Lakshana. These Lakshanas are borrowed, like even one borrows some disguise and then puts it on and dons dons some feathers, crown, whatever it is. Dons a crown and parades as a king. That is what the body is doing. So the body is Satchidananda by proxy, because everything is Satchidananda by proxy. Body also Satchidananda by proxy. And then because of its proximate connection to Satchidananda, it is blessed by Satchidananda, but itself it is not Satchidananda. Itself it is not Satchidananda. Like even a lamp put in the room is lighting up another object. Let us say it is lighting up the incense stand. The incense stand does not have any incense burning in it, just a little metal incense stand. So the metal incense stand shines because of its proximity to the lamp at night. But when the lamp is shut out, when the lamp goes out, what happens to the incense stand? The incense stand is back to its non-shining self. So the incense stand comes to light and shines because it enjoys the light of the lamp. It is sitting, all the puja things are in one place. So when there is the lamp, next to that is the bell, the incense stand, etc. We can have a whole parivar of puja things. And then all of them shine because the lamp is lighting them up. Similarly, this Satchidananda, this Satyam Jnanam Anantam, this source of all existence and this sentient existence that never comes to an end, Ananda, Ananta, what does it do? It enlivens the body, it enlivens the mind, it enlivens the sense organs. And so therefore the body shines in Satchidananda light. But left to itself, what is it? Mithya. And the second definition of mithya also it is good to recall at this point. And what is the second definition of mithya? The second definition of mithya is that it is as good, it is not something that you can say is asat. Why? Because it is borrowing the light of sat. You cannot say it is asat, but at the same time it is itself not sat by itself. So it is hanging between Sat and Asat, like the sage Trishanku who wanted to ascend to Swarga. But then Indra, who was jealous of him, pushed him downwards, and certain other sages on the earth were pushing him upwards. And so he was stuck in the middle, in a place called Trishanku Swarga. So like this, the body is in the state of neither Sat nor Asat. But anyhow, it is not me. So I am not this body. Body is Atma. Atma is not the body. Brahmaiva aham samaha. Samaha means always the same. Now let us check with the body. Is the body always the same? No. Body keeps changing from childhood, birth, old age, disease. One day it feels good, one day it is full of aches and pains. Body is not samaha. It is asamaha. Opposite dharma. And then Brahma, which is myself alone, is Shantaha, free of any disturbance, free of strife, free of fear, free of anything. This is Brahman. That is me. Is the body Shantaha? No. So many things are in body is the source of Ashanti. Why? Because it causes anxiety. The moment I look at myself, what I think is myself, in the mirror, it causes anxiety. Oh no, one more wrinkle. Oh no, one more grey hair. Oh no, am I getting fat? Oh no, am I getting too thin? So this is exactly the problem. And so the body is not shant, neither is it shanta by itself, because so many things are happening in the body. Digestion is taking place, circulation is taking place, it's always in motion. And the body is also not the cause of shanti for the indweller. Body is restless, body is tamasic and rajasic, and so therefore it is not the abode of shanti. But what is Brahman? The abode of Shanti, like a lake, like a placid lake. You can see the bottom of some lakes are called glass lakes, because you can see to the bottom, such clear water without a single ripple. And Brahman, which is myself, is Satchidananda Lakshanaha. It is the source of all existence, Sat. It is Chit. It is sentient. I am sentient. Body is insentient. And then it is Ananda. I am the source of joy, which is Brahman. Body is not the source of joy, as we saw. Body is the source of dukkha. The more I look at the body, the more problems I find with it. And all I have to think of is hitting 80 years of age. That is enough to make anybody depressed, because one starts to think, how will I be? Will I have dementia? Will I be able to walk around? What will go first? Will the knees go, or will the hips go, or will the heart go? And all these things. So this way the body is not Ananda. But I am Brahman, I am not the body. Na aham deha. Why? Because I am already Brahman. So I can't be. This is another wonderful logic. I can't be the cause and the effect at the same time. I am the cause. Effect is no doubt non-separate from the cause, but the cause is not the effect. If I am Brahman, which is the cause, I haven't become the effect, which is the body. It is impossible for the clay to become pot. What is clay? Clay is still clay. Body is Brahman. Brahman is not the body. This is what we have to remember. Next one. निर्विकारो निराकारः निरवद्योऽहमव्ययः निर्विकारो निराकारः निरवद्योऽहमव्ययः नाहं देहो ह्यसद्रूपः ज्ञानमित्युच्यते बुधैः. We didn't see this part. Jnanam iti uchyate budhaihi. This is what is called knowledge. This is what is called knowledge. What is knowledge? That whatever has been said in the first line, that is knowledge. What is the knowledge? I am not this body, which is the personification of mithya. I'm not this body. I'm not the gross body. I'm not the subtle body. I'm not the. I'm not the. What is the other one? Karana Shariram either. I'm not this. And so therefore, I am not just this body. I'm much more than this body. What I am Brahman. Brahmaiva aham. And so therefore, this is knowledge. This is Atmajnanam iti. We have to add Atma here. This is Atmajnanam iti uchyate budhaihi. By the wise. By the wise, this is said to be Atmajnanam. Budhaihi means those who know. They are wise, meaning they are Brahmavits. So they know Brahman. And what are they saying? This is the knowledge. This is really the knowledge. Please see that this is the knowledge. This is what we call self-knowledge. And so what is these set of verses? And it is all contrasting with the body through neti neti. Neti neti, except even avyaya. All of the words are neti neti words, and it is being the body is not the atma is not the body, is being established through a process of negation. Nirvikarah means vikara shunyah, vikara rahitah. What is vikara? Changes, modifications. When you see the body, it is an embodiment of modifications. So many modifications. And what is the Atma? What is Brahman? Nirvikarah. Vikara rahitah. No modifications. There are no modifications at all. No changes. No changes. And no changes are there because it is ananta, limitless. So the limitless cannot have any change. And neither has it undergone any change in order to quote unquote become the Jagat. It hasn't undergone any change. It hasn't modified in any way. It is free of the Shat Vikara. Shat Vikara we say. Jayate, Asti, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati, Vardhate, I forgot. So Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. Is born, survives birth, grows up, becomes capable of reproduction, blossoms, and then finally what? Decays. And then Ram Nam Satya Hai. We have to say that it is the end. Finished. End of what? Not you, just the body. Just the body. And so this is what the body is. And so this is the full of modifications. And in addition to these 6 modifications, there are many other modifications that are not even talked about, like the day-to-day changes, so many problems, so little time. Now the body is crying, now the body is laughing, now it is sad, now it is happy, all these things. Now it is identifying with itself. Now I am identifying with the body, I come to grief. Now I am identifying with the mind, I come to more grief, all these things. But the Atma is nirvikaraha. Look at the contrast. It has nothing in common with the body. Atma means I. I have nothing in common with the body. The body is a storehouse, a warehouse of changes. I am free of change. Why is the body the warehouse of changes? And how can we document the changes? Simple. Because it has a form. And the form keeps changing. It keeps sagging. After a certain while, everything hangs loose. Everything is sagging. Stomach is sagging, hands are sagging, and there is a word. What is it? There are expressions for these, very creative expressions. So when the arms are not toned, and what is the hanging skin in the upper arm is called bat's wings. Okay, that means it is like the wings of the bat. Who knew? Anyway, all of them have names like that. Bat, wing, and then something else is hanging. It also has a name. All these things, so this is, and why is this the problem? Because it has a form. If it has a form, it will have deformities. That is how it will deform. This is the law of the Jagat. Whatever has form, it will deform. So it will include all the deformities, but Brahman, which I am, is spared from that. Brahman does not have to worry about love handles, bat wings, all these things, these names that they have for things which should not be there in those places. There are all these names. And so Brahman doesn't have to worry about all of that. Why? Brahman went to beauty parlor? No. Brahman is Nirakara. Doesn't have form, so doesn't have to worry about deformities. Simple. If something has form, then we have to worry about it becoming deformed. Then we have to worry about its deterioration. But if it is Nirakara, the Akara means form. The Akara itself is not there. That is one of the advantages of identifying with Brahman. You suddenly, as soon as you assimilate this knowledge, you become ageless. You become ageless. Amazing it is. You have no age at all. Time has as though stopped. And then you see that the changes for the body are only confined to the body. They don't bleed into the mind, into the senses, and give me the feeling I am full of deformities. Not a possibility at all. So if it is Nirakara, if it has no form, then where are all the blemishes? A spot here, an age spot there, something here. The left eye is smaller than the right eye. People, we are always, the left side of the face is different from the right side of the face. And in most people, it is quite slight. You don't see it. But these are all things that have been studied in a Shastra called Samudrika Lakshana. And only Lord Rama, it is said, if you drew a vertical pencil line from the middle of the forehead all the way down the nose and the lips and the chin, and had two parts of the face, the left side was exactly like the right side. This is Daivi Lakshana. It is Daivam. So it is that shows that there is some kind of a Daivam, Bhagavan operating there. So, but in every other person, Other than Lord Rama, perhaps Lord Krishna is an exception, and perhaps some of the goddesses that we study about. But in every other person, there is that, there will be a certain change. So the left eye will be little smaller, the nose will be turned a little bit to one side or the other side. Lips also will be slightly different. Ears will be different. Chin, one side of the chin will be different from the other side. In most people, it is imperceptible. In some people, you can actually tell. And then it's not just a human being. Dogs, cats, all of them have something. And so when you look at somebody, this is what one thinks. Oh, if their face was not like this, then they would be just so perfect. If their one feature was not like this, then they would be absolutely perfect. Like the eyes, if the eyes were not so close together, it would be a perfect face. If the forehead was not so narrow, it would be a perfect face. So like this, there are all these blemishes, so to speak, associated with the body. But what about one more advantage of identification with Brahman is that I am free of all irregularities. Niravadya. Niravadya means blemishless. I am. Niravadyoham. This is a nice thing to contemplate on. I am free of all blemishes. Nothing can touch me. Why? Because there's all these hetus are there. Because I am nirakara. Only when there is form, there can be blemishes. Where will the blemishes rest? Or when there is nothing, there is no ashraya for the blemishes. Where will the blemishes be if there is no ashraya for them? That is the thinking. And then what else? So the blemishes are not there. So because form is not there, and for the same reason, the vikaras are also not there because there is no form. So the word nirakara functions as a dehali deepa, dehali deepanyaya. Dehali means threshold, a compound or something. Some divider is called dehali. And on top of that, you keep a lamp. It will light up the outside as well as the inside of the house. If you keep a lamp on top of the threshold, what will happen? It will light up within and without. And so that becomes a maxim. And what is that maxim? It is called Dehali Deepanyaya. And then what is this Dehali? Threshold lamp logic, meaning this word is like the lamp. Don't say the word nirakara is like the threshold. No. We are not interested in the threshold. We are interested in the lamp. So the lamp on the threshold. So nirakara, and what is the threshold? Its placement between two words. That is the threshold. The word nirakara itself is the lamp that lights nirvikara and also lights up niravadya. It gives both these words meaning because it is placed in the middle. This is a poetic, this is a poetic alankara. This is a poetic feature here. Very nice. So then finally, aham avyayaha. Avyayaha means navyeti. No changes whatsoever. Not even the slightest change. And so this is why I am not the body. This is why na aham deha. Why it is a sad little dependent reality. It is not myself alone. This is the knowledge declared by the people who know Brahman. Then further, Niramayo nirabhasah nirvikalpohamatataha. Niramayo nirabhasah nirvikalpohamatataha. Nahandeho hyasadrupah jnanamityujyate budhaihi. Nahandeho hyasadrupah Jnanamityuchyate budhaihi. Amaya means illness. What am I? Niramaya, free of illness. Free of all illness. What is subject to illness? Body is subject to illness. Mind is subject to illness. Senses are subject to illness. What am I? Free of the body mind sense complex, and therefore free of all illnesses. And so this is the first one. I'm free of all illness, which is the property of the body. If there is a body, it will definitely become sick. This is how it is. In fact, if you look at all the organs, they are there they are just waiting to become sick. What is the heart meant for? It's ultimately meant to have a heart attack. And then what are the pancreas meant for? To express themselves in the form of sugar problems, diabetes. And what is the head meant for? Dementia. That way, every body part has its trajectory. And here is where the karmaja tadatmyam comes. Which bodies are subject to which amaya? Which illnesses? So if you send your saliva on a swab, on a cotton swab to some of these, what are they called? DNA analysis companies, then they will tell you all these diseases that were there in the family, and because of the genetics, and what all this body might have inherited. In short, don't do that, because if you want to have good sleep at night, it is better to not do that. Otherwise one keeps worrying, oh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Maybe it is useful also. Sometimes if there is some strong presence of cancer or something like that, one can take care of it in certain ways. So, but generally speaking, it can cause a lot of worry. Why? Because amaya, sickness, is a cause for worry. But no need to worry now, because I am amaya free. Niramayaha aham. Niramayaha aham. I am not subject to disease. Nirabhasaha. Abhasaha means that which is the source of light. Light means consciousness, chit. You don't take the light literally as some kind of a isotope. No, that is not Brahman. But Brahman is conscious, sentient. It is consciousness itself. It is Chaitanyam, Shuddha Chaitanyam, in the form of Shuddha Chaitanyam. And I am not Bhasaha. Whatever, I am Bhasaha. And the body is not Bhasaha. What is the body? Bhasya. So bhasya, that which is lit up, is called bhasya. The lighter upper is called bhasaha. Abhasaha. Asamantat, bhasate. Asamantat bhati. Abhasaha. So that which shines without any dependence on anything else. And what is the body? The body is that which is shined, upon which the light of the Atma is shined upon. It is an object, it is not the subject. You see how it's all viparita dharma. Each one is the opposite dharma attribute that I am taking to be myself alone. Very, very, very strange. So Niramayah, Nirabhasah, Nirvikalpah. Nirvikalpah means again free from all changes. Free from all changes. Who? Don't say body. That is not free from all changes. It is changing as we speak. But that which is the Brahman, which is myself, which is the truth of myself, free of all changes. Nirvikalpaha. And then aham goes with all of them. Niramayoham, nirabhasoham, nirvikalpoham, and atatoham. Atataha. From the root verb tan, to spread. Asamantat tataha aham. I am spread all over completely. Meaning what? I am all pervasive. And what is the body? Small pervasive. It pervades just this much. It takes up this much space. That's all. And if the body is in one place, it cannot be in another place. If the body is enjoying one particular size, it cannot be another size. It is suffering from the three kinds of limitations. If the body is existing in the 16th century, it cannot simultaneously exist in the 21st century. This is what we have to understand. So atatah means desha kala vastu avachinna rahitaha. Avachinna is the conditioning agent, the agent of that which constricts. The constriction, the source of constriction are three in number. Source of limitations are three in number. Avachinna means limited. So the body has limited pervasive capacity. Why? Because it is constrained by time. So one's lifespan is this much. So the body is only for this many years. Or you can say the lifespan, if we don't even look at it from the standpoint of lifespan, if the body exists in this particular century, it cannot also exist in the another century. It cannot be simultaneously in the past, present, and future at all times. Number one. So then it is constrained, constricted by time. Then constricted by space, as we saw, it cannot be in all spaces at all times. And then finally, so time and space, vastutaha. So if I am in a human body, I cannot suddenly and simultaneously also pervade the dog body. I cannot do that. I am just in a human body. I cannot also be in the dog body, because this is what is called vastutaha avacchinnatvam. So the constriction from the standpoint of object-wise limited, space-wise finite, time-wise constricted. Time, space, object, these three become the constricting agents for this body, but not for me, who is the Atma. The Atma is free of time. There is no time, the Atma is. You cannot have a gravestone for the Atma and say, it lived, it was there, it lived for hundreds of years, but alas, now it is gone. The very thought is strange. You cannot have, you cannot say the Atma or Brahmatma was there in this particular form, but now it is not there in this particular form. It cannot be in any other form. So vastutaha is not there. And then time-wise, of course, the constriction is not there. Space-wise also it's not there. Brahman is in America but not India. Like that you cannot say Atma is sarvagataha, atataha. Everywhere it is there at all times, in all, anything that you see is Atma. Atma is not any one thing. But the body is just confined to one place at one time in a particular form. It suffers from three limitations which the Atma is free of. Nirguno nishkriyo nityah nityamuktohamachyutah. Nirguno nishkriyo nityah nityamuktohamachyutah. मुक्तोऽहमच्युतः नाहं देहो ह्यसद्रूपः ज्ञानमित्युच्यते बुधैः. So this one also more of the same, all negations. Nirgunaha, free of attributes. Nishkriyaha, free of actions I am, actionless I am, attributeless I am. Nityaha. So this one is not, these two are not negative statements. These two are from the positive statement, reiterating what Brahman is, what is my nature. So Nityaha, Nityaha means always there, unchanging. And then Nityamuktaha, always free. And then Aham Achyutaha. Achyutaha means Chyutihi Navidyate Yasya, for whom there is no derailment, for whom there is no fall from grace, fall in reputation, fall in any kind of a, like somebody who's very famous and had a lot of enjoyed a lot of followers, suddenly fell from grace. We find this in politicians and sometimes the big leaders who get some hubris, and then what? And then the law, the long arms of the law come after them. So they get embroiled in some kind of a scandal. So there is Chuti. For the Aham, for the I, there is no Chuti. For Brahman, there is no Chuti. Why? Because it did not occupy any kind of a position. Why? Why didn't it occupy any kind of a position? Because it is actionless. It does not do anything. I don't do anything. The body, mind, senses, along with the ahankara, identify, the ahankara identifies itself as an actor with the help of the body, mind, sense complex. Because of why? Because it is associated with sattva, rajas, tamas, gunas. You see everything. This, he hangs on this word achyutaha. Everything is there to describe this. So it is, so it cannot, it is free of any kind of fall, a proverbial fall here. Some metaphorical fall, not figuratively. So achyutaha means it is not having a loss of reputation. Why is it not having a loss of reputation? Because loss of reputation comes when you do some hanky-panky. But here it is not doing anything. Brahman, which is myself alone, I am free of action. So if I am free of action, there is no derailment, because for derailment there should be two things. There should be a position I am occupying and I have worked hard and I am working hard to maintain that position, and then there should be a fall. Here that the second thing is not available. The position is not available. Every position is Brahman alone. And so there is no derailment possible because there is no position being occupied. Why is there no position being occupied? Reason number one, there is nothing is away from me. Reason number two, because I myself am actionless. How come you are actionless? I am actionless because I am outside of the three gunas. So if I am outside of rajas, which is action, then there is no action. And then opposite of rajas is tamas, inertia. So there is no action and inertia coming one after the other. I'm also free of sattva, which enjoys a good reputation and which is godlike, etc., etc. I'm free of the three gunas. I'm not coming under the spell of the three gunas. And then that's why for me there is no fall, because I am actionless, and it is possible for me to be actionless because I have no gunas. I'm not affected by the gunas. Why aren't you affected by the gunas? Because I'm always the same, because I'm not affected by the gunas, and because I'm always free. I am not bound. The body is bound to a certain lifespan, to all these things. Mind is bound, senses are bound. I am not bound. I'm always free. I don't even have to struggle for freedom. I don't have to struggle for anything at all. And so that's why I am free. I'm ever free. This is who I am, not this sad little body which is as good as asat. The last one in this section. Nirmalo nischalo nantah shuddho hamajaro marah. Nirmalo nischalo nantah shuddho hamajaro marah. नाहं देहो ह्यसद्रूपः ज्ञानमित्युच्यते बुधैः. Nirmalah means free of any kind of dirt, like a lotus pad, lily pad, or a lotus leaf, which has small microscopic hairs that repel any kind of dust and sludge and everything. Even though it grows in panka, panka means sludge. Even though it grows in the sludge, it is free of sludge. It is totally free of the dirt in which it grows. Nischalaha. Nischalaha means I have no movement at all. I'm not moving like the water, like the air, like the fire. There is no movement because there is nowhere to go. Why do I need movement? I don't need movement because there is nowhere to go. Everything is myself alone. I am in my own glory. Anantah, I am limitlessly glorious. I am in my glory. And then what? Shuddha. And usually for the Atma, Shuddha or Vishuddha is applied. For Brahman also, Shuddham, Brahma, Shuddha Atma. Shuddha means free of punya and papa. Free of punya and papa means there is nothing that is tainting the Atma. There are no things to be reckoned with, no accounts to be settled, no karma to be harvested and then exhausted. No, nothing that I have sowed that needs to be reaped. Not even punya. Punya means you'll have another birth. So to settle that punya, you'll have another birth. And so no punya, no papa. This is what I am. I am ajaraha. Ajaraha means free of geriatric problems. The word geriatry must have come from jara. Ajaraha. Unaging I am. And the lines and the wrinkles and the signs of aging, and they belong to the body, belong to the mind. After all, it is subject to wear and tear, not me. And since I am Ajaraha, I am Amaraha. Ajaro Maraha. Ajaraha plus Amaraha. Ajaro Maraha. Like Shivoham. Shivaha plus Aham. Shivoham. So Ajaro Amaraha. Amaraha means immortal I am. Not subject to death. And not subject to death I am, and therefore what? So therefore it is therefore established that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not the senses. What I am? I am Brahman. Very nice set. These are all can be used for contemplation. Just read it quietly. You don't even have to memorize them. Just sit quietly sometime and just read 24 to 28. Don't even read the second line. Just read the first line, just those words. And don't be in a hurry. Each one savor the meanings that you have heard today, and that itself becomes a wonderful, wonderful contemplation. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Pranam Swamiji.
Om
Hari
Namah
Om.
Shivaya.
Thank
Om
you,
Namah Shivaya.
Swamiji.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
All the best.